Coming up next, Leo's got the brand new Apple Watch. NAB, we've got coverage from Canon and from Audio Technica. OMG, an arrangement of Bluetooth speakers. You gotta watch before you buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of Before You Buy is brought to you by Prosper. Prosper is a peer-to-peer lending marketplace that connects people who are looking to borrow money with those who have money to lend. Visit prosper.com/twit and receive a $50 Visa gift card when you get a loan. And by Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price. Because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/beforeyoubuy and enter the promo code BEFOREYOUBUY. Hello and welcome to Before You Buy. It's Twit's product review show where we take literally the latest and the greatest and we give it to the members of the Brick House to see what kind of honest reviews they can give you. Now, we got to start, of course, with the hot news. Brand new for today.
Just
in
came out.
demand. Just came out. I don't know how you got it so quickly. Leo, the Apple Watch.
You know, I remember saying back in 2010 when the first iPad, the night before the first iPad, the eve of the iPad came out, that starting with tomorrow, everything will be different. It wasn't as different as I thought it would be, but in a way, you know, the iPad era began. Today begins the Apple Watch era. You ready to open it?
Let's do this.
I'm out of breath. Ran all the way from the post office. So excited. This is the stainless steel 38 millimeter, which was not my first choice, but actually this is for Lisa.
But this is the one that's available. People are getting these,
Yeah.
whereas the other versions are delayed.
Yeah, some people, you know, who got on right at midnight on April 10th are getting other ones, but this was all that was left. So,
So nobody wants the 38 millimeter.
maybe the 42 sold better. The 38's pretty small. Now I wore for comparison, and we'll see my Moto X. So you'll get some idea of the size. I love Apple's thoughtfulness. You know, it's always easy to get into these.
Normally, I need to break out a set of keys to burst through all the plastic they put.
Yeah, but they actually, and they even did. You see, even on the cardboard, they had a little zip tie. So. And it's always fun opening it. Let's point it in the. You can can you see the embossed?
There we go.
Watch.
Detail.
It
Attention to
says
detail.
Watch. All right, let's see. Here we go. Oh, and you know, it always feels like a vacuum when you open these.
You're teasing the audience now, aren't you? I can feel it. Oh, of course. Apple attention to detail.
I don't know what's in here. This is just extra. Oh, well, we might as well look at this since we're here. This is the charger. Now, people are trying the Apple Watch and all sorts of things, and I'm starting to hear rumors that any Qi charger, including my Moto 360 charger, will work with the Apple Watch.
Well,
we'll
there's
have
an
to
easy way to
verify
test that. We'll plug it in and put it next to your Moto if that
See if it
charges.
charges the Moto, right? It is inductance charging. That means that it doesn't need to go into any openings or anything. In fact, it looks like a little stethoscope, doesn't it? The Sport Watch gets a plastic one. This is a stainless steel, so it's going to get a stainless steel charger. That's magnetic, so it should just snap
Stick right on there. Nice.
And
okay.
here's the watch box. This is new for Apple. Usually Apple only does cardboard. This is plastic, so they're a little bit of a different packaging.
But it's nice
environment.
plastic. It's Apple plastic.
Well, you know, one of the reasons Apple doesn't do plastic is because it's not recyclable. They like the recyclable stuff. But on the other hand, this is a watch. It's a different business, isn't it? Doesn't that look like a stethoscope? Wow. I think this is feel that. That's like magnetic.
Actually, I think I could
You're
charge
dead.
myself up
Either
with
this man is dead or my stethoscope
Clear.
has stopped.
Just-
Go ahead. Just lift that up here. See,
Okay, wait,
feel how that feels.
Ooh, that's.
It's like a little.
It
it's
is
like a little
magnetic.
bento box
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, it feels like it's magnetic. Oh baby.
Okay, here it is.
Oh baby,
this is the
there
stuff.
she is. There she blows. This is, as you can see, a Milanese loop, and this is the stainless steel model.
That looks nicer than I expected it to.
Okay, so that's the 38 millimeter. You can compare it. Give me your wrist, Lisa, because this is Lisa's watch. But she's going to very kindly let me wear it for review purposes. Wait a minute, she's inching in here. Somebody seems
She
to
wants it.
Somebody seems
She
to want
wants
her
it.
watch. I think that's a good size for you. This, Apple's not being sexist, and I'm not going to be sexist saying the 38 millimeters for women, but it's for smaller wristed people. Clayton Morris had a 42, and it looked gigantic. But of course, he's a good little girly man, so. No, just a joke.
Josh got the 38 millimeter, but I'm sure he'll be.
Josh is
to the
really
42
worried.
millimeter.
Is he watching? Josh Windish. All right, now one of the reasons I got the Milanese loop is because this magnet means it's kind of infinitely sizable. So let's open it up, put it on. They say it's, we're both lefties.
That's an awful lot of bling on the screen right now.
An awful lot of.
It's bling on bling.
Bling on bling. Get that watch on there. Get out of my way. Go over there and get the camera.
Actually, Leo, can I see your Moto 360? Let's see if this charges that. Then yes.
Is it plugged in?
It's plugged in.
Put it on the back. And you got the right side up?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, that looks pretty nice.
No, it's probably the metal side.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'd want to.
Charging.
Oh, okay, so
that confirms
confirmed.
it. It did, in fact, start charging the Moto 360. That means it is a Qi charger.
Not as pretty as my jewelry.
I think it's, it looks a little geeky.
Closer on the bug.
It doesn't look geeky
That's-
like all the stuff I've been
I like the Milanese loop.
I don't know. What do you think?
It's manly.
It does look a little manly, right?
Well, all geek watches are somewhat manly. All right, take that sucker off you.
Well, wait.
You won't see it again for another few months.
Hey,
Say
that's
say
fine.
goodbye.
I hope you enjoyed your
Please.
60 seconds with the watch, because you won't see that for a long, long time.
I'll be paying for that
Now,
later.
whoa, I forgot the pricing on Apple Watches.
So this one is $750. They start at $350 for the Sport. That's the aluminum body with a rubber. They call it fluoroelastomer band. This one, the 38 is 600, or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And then or 650, and then I think 700.
And no
for
plans
the-
to get the Apple edition?
You know, oh.
You could sell my car by half of that.
So they want you to make pretty good contact with your skin here. In fact,
oh, right, because it's got to have
right.
contact for all the sensors.
so I'm pressed
a little
the
higher.
digital crown. Where are we? Where are we? There we
right
are.
there. Oh,
Press the
okay.
digital
Yeah.
crown. Oh, I hope it's got some juice in
It
it.
should. All Apple products have a little bit of juice.
There it is. There's, you can see the Apple logo dimly.
Ooh.
Dimly as it boots up here. I suppose I could read the manual. Let's see.
No, we don't do that.
Here it is.
We're geeks.
It's not very big. It says,
Turn on.
turn on. Swipe up for glances. Force touch firmly press to choose or customize a watch face. We'll do that right away because I want to take a look at some of those.
That's a really dim screen.
Boy,
I
is that
just have
dim.
to say.
Doesn't feel like anything's happening. Let's put the charger in there.
Yeah, I hope it's a first boot type thing.
Well, I don't think you're ever going to boot it again, right?
Well, actually, here we can have the charger on your wrist.
No. No, that's silly
For
talk.
those people
Crazy
who
talk.
really want to be mobile.
You're talking crazy. See this?
Is it supposed to?
Oh, it is the
okay,
plastic
it is.
side.
All right.
And it does, in fact, sort of.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Ish.
So the plastic side is the charging side. Well,
Screen's gotta be
we weren't
adjustable.
planning to do a review today because obviously this is a first look, but this isn't even a first look, apparently. This is an unboxing. As you know, the Crown has some functions. When you press the home button, gosh, this takes a long time to boot.
We've only had it out for a while. It is a fingerprint magnet.
There
will
we
say
go.
that.
All right, now we can read it. Golly, I'm going to have to make it so you can read it.
Kind of got it.
There you go. I'll take the charger off. English, right? Okay, now.
that's better.
This is the first step. And ever since you upgraded to iOS 8.2, boys and girls, you've had this Apple Watch app that you can't get rid of on your iPhone. Let's tap it.
It's a
Open the Apple
reminder
Watch app.
of what you don't have
It
yet.
immediately sees it. Let's start pairing.
Okay, that was.
Ooh, look at
that's
something
pretty
magical's
slick.
happening.
Wow.
Something magical's happening. Hold the Apple Watch up to the camera. Really?
Wait, that's
So
how you
it's
pair it?
capturing some sort of digital, yeah, it
Oh,
did.
okay.
Isn't that
Yes,
clever?
I like that.
Some sort of digital interface. Set up Apple Watch. We have paired it. Now look at that. I don't know. Can you really? This is.
Can you
what
get it
would-
on the side camera? The side camera has a better
We need
angle
we need
here.
a really. There you go. That's a little bit
Oh,
better.
wait. A little higher. Right by
So here's where. Oh golly, where are you? There you are. Where are you? There you are.
I'll hold it for you.
Yeah, let me get it in
There you
focus.
go, right there.
There we
Boom.
go. All right, and on this, it says, do you wear which wrist do you wear it on? I'm going to wear it on my left. But that's good to know if you're a lefty, as I am. Sometimes you want to people wear watches on the right. That means you turn it upside down, which means the home button and the stem would be reversed.
Solid
so
interface.
I want to do it like kind of, so let me say left.
That's probably the easiest pairing I've ever seen.
That was very cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a kind of a spacey space dust nebula
It's
cloud.
an Apple QR code, essentially.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Signing with your Apple ID. All right. This is for Apple Pay.
Will it take the fingerprint?
No. But unfortunately, I have LastPass on here, and it won't take too long for me
You'll
to
be able to
copy
Apple
that.
Pay with the watch, but it still needs to be within range of the phone for that to happen.
Not exactly.
No.
The first time you turn on Apple Pay, you'll use a fingerprint on the phone. The watch, as long as it remains in contact with your skin, continues to be able to do Apple Pay, which is interesting. And by the way, the Apple Pay, you have to face the watch towards the Apple Pay. You will be able to pick the payment method from the watch, which is kind of cool.
And
right, so
actually,
very briefly, I'm going to enter my Apple password.
I had a chit-chat with an Apple engineer who did tell me that since the sensors can detect blood pressure and pulse, if someone were to remove your hand, it would no longer Apple Pay.
The engineer told you that.
He actually did.
Okay.
I guess that's a question that they've had.
So I'm verifying my Apple ID. Here we go. Watch is already turned on. This is hard to do. How do you TV types do this? All right.
It's all the new tech.
There we go. And this is showing, by the way, it's saying 38 millimeter case. Okay, location services, yes. What is this? Yes, I want Siri. Okay, let me turn on my sound, make sure. What is this? Diagnostics. Okay, Apple. They don't give you a not okay. It doesn't look like. Do I want a passcode? When you set up a passcode, Apple Watch locks when you take it off and requires the passcode to unlock. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Let me do a
that's
real
about
quick
right.
little... Here, you can look at this while I'm passcoding.
Dr. Mom says
I
it's
have to
not
do this
blood
on the
pressure.
watch.
It can sense if there's blood flowing through your skin. So if someone were to chop off your hand, I guess that would no longer be the case.
All right, so I'm entering a passcode. It's a 4-digit code, very much like on the...
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, folks.
Yeah,
Just,
well, that seems to be
for
the
your
easiest.
information.
All right. Unlock Apple Watch with iPhone. Do you want to unlock Apple Watch with your iPhone? Yeah, I think so, right? Whoops, I said no. How do I go back? Where's your camera?
There you go.
Golly. Okay, don't show a picture of me sticking my butt out, because that's
Alex.
what I'm doing. Okay, now, since I already have apps on here that are installed, it's giving me the option to do that. So let's do that. Your Apple Watch is almost ready. You'll get an alert when it's done syncing. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. Now, I wonder if I can go back, because one of the things I wanted to do, going back will unpair devices and reset.
No!
No.
Don't do that,
Because, I
Apple
said something
Watch.
I don't want to do, which is I want it to pair, and I said no when it, so that I don't have to unlock it when I have my iPhone there. So this is the setup. What do you think of the Milanese loop? That looks pretty,
It
huh?
does. Actually, that's very well done.
I guess I could put this on now.
Yeah.
'Cause I
So
think
the pairing was quick. The syncing process, I mean, there's no way around it. You got to set all your preferences.
And this is now syncing with my apps. So it's putting all the apps on here that have interfaces. What does it say? Restart setup? No.
The camera a little bit down.
Oh, where am I?
No, you go to a comfortable spot.
No, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. Anyway, this might take a while.
This could take a while.
So I'll tell you what, we'll be talking about this a lot more over the next few weeks, obviously, and more people will get Apple Watches. This is the 38 millimeter. It's the stainless steel. I think it doesn't look bad. The Milanese loop is a nice,
pretty good.
Nice band.
I will say it looks manly. I think you were right. It does look a little on the
Didn't
manly
look
side.
great on Lisa. We might have to get her a different band.
Right, maybe a slightly
She
different
says it's
color
all right?
band.
All right.
You know what? Actually, I think Lisa would look good in the Apple Watch edition.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
I'm not buying it.
so there you go. I don't know how long.
So initial impressions, though.
Oh, wait a minute. Now
it's
it
a nice
says your
device.
Apple ID and phone number are now being used for iMessage on new Apple Watch. Okay.
So you should receive your messages on your watch.
Okay, yeah, the messages will. You swipe up to get to glances. You swipe down to get to notifications. Something's
And,
happening.
can you put Mickey next to it?
Yeah, there's Mickey. There's the big Mickey. So you can see it makes the Moto X
It does make it
360
look big.
look quite big, doesn't it?
Not just big, but very thick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is much more elegant. But really, it's all going to come down to usability. We have a long way to go. It's only up in the upper corner there on the syncing. So I think I'll let you continue with the rest of the show. This is 38 millimeter. We'll get a 42 millimeter, I hope, in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, within a week or two, we can have a full review. You can tell us exactly
Next
how you
week.
feel.
Let's do it next week.
Okay, let's do it next week.
I feel I'll be ready next week.
All right.
Okay.
There we have it. Leo Laporte, an unboxing of the Apple Watch. We know that you want one because everyone wants one, and we know that you're going to love it, especially since if you use Qi charging.
This will charge everything. Let's see if it charges my phone. This is a Qi charging phone, you know.
Before you buy, it's about experimentation.
Yeah, let's see here. See if it
get up there.
Charges. It has to be in the right spot. That's one of the tricky things about Qi charging.
It might not provide enough power. This might be lower powered Qi because you don't need a whole lot for the watch.
Your Qi is low powered.
I think we're cheating.
But it did do the Moto 360,
it did.
which is interesting.
What
it also means is that if I have other Qi chargers, which I do, it'll probably work.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you unplug that so
yes,
I can take it away and get it out of your way?
Folks, you may see this on Leo Laporte's wrist, of course, assuming that it doesn't get stolen by Jeffrey Needles. Leo Laporte will come back in just a bit to give us a full review of the Apple Watch. Not today, of course.
Next week.
Next week. But for now, let's go ahead and take a trip back to NAB. That's right. We were at the National Association of Broadcasters in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had a chance to take a look at some of their products. I stopped by the Audio Technica booth to see what they had in the way of professional microphones.
Cool.
NAB isn't all just about cameras, screens, and drones. You've also got a fair share of high-quality audio, which is why we stopped by here at the Audio Technica booth. And I'm speaking with Brent Chamberlain, who's going to explain some of the new products AT has for those folks who want high-quality audio. Brent, thank you very much for talking to us.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, with with a lot of video, everything like that, everyone's kind of starting to realize that audio is an important aspect of that, and you need to be able to hear with your video. So Audio Technica has been pretty big as far as with coming out with some innovative designs with microphones. Today we're actually debuting our BP40, which is our large diaphragm dynamic microphone. Very similar to the popular RE20, Shure, SM7 microphones for broadcast, everything like that. Very similar design to that, so rugged build on that. A different frequency curve on this, so it actually has a nice bump right there in that Fletcher-Munson curve. Very popular for voice. We did some recordings with it. Very nice tone to it. Just another option for our customers to kind of decide what's going to work best for their sound.
I've been using Audio Technica AT2020 condenser mics in my personal studio for a while, and I've lamented two things. One, that it wasn't a big dynamic mic, and two, that it was side-firing. This is perfect for broadcasters because it's a front-firing mic, and it does have that. It has that big bottom, that big boom that broadcasters like so much. What about pricing and availability? So if someone was saying, hey, I'd like to start up my own podcasting network, I want good sounding audio, I'd love to get a couple of these, where would they go and how much would they expect to pay?
Yeah, so you can pick this up through any authorized Audio Technica dealer. Same price point as those other microphones that I mentioned. So double check with your dealer for pricing. These are going to be available July-ish. So end of June, early July is when we're expecting to have these out.
Now, this is one option for people who want to broadcast, and it's sort of a higher-end option. You're going to need a decent soundboard and something to record, but Audio Technica also does have some unique products, if we go over right here, that plug straight into your editing machine or device. Now, this I've seen and I know about. This is the Audio Technica AT2020 USB. We've seen this on Before You Buy. It's a review show, and it's a fantastic model. It is all the quality of an AT2020, but all the convenience of having that USB interface. You have a new product for the show, specifically for those people with Lightning-equipped devices. Tell me about it.
Exactly. Just one quick correction there for you. This is the USB Plus that we have here. The USB is actually being discontinued and replaced by the AT2020 USB Plus, which has the headphone out there. So we are debuting today the 2020 USB I. So that is going to be able to plug directly right into your iPhone and your iPad. And so what it has on the bottom there, it is a Lightning connector. So that'll go into your popular new iPhone or your old iPhone if you still have that, or your iPad. And basically you just pull up any recording software that's going to allow for an external microphone, and you are on the run. So if you need to pick up and go do an audio recording somewhere, you pick up your 2020 USB I, plug it into your iPhone, and you have high-quality audio sound coming from your 2020 microphone that everybody knows and loves.
What I've always liked about Audio-Technica's approach is you fill the full range. If you want a good studio mic, you're going to go ahead and get the BP40. If you want something that's for field recording, so you want to be able to make decent recordings, but you need to be on the go, so it has to be small, it has to be light, and it has to have a simple interface, you go with something like this, either a USB or a Lightning connector. If they wanted to find out more about Audio-Technica's entire range of products for production, where can they go?
If you just go to our website, we've got everything there, so www.audio-technica.com. We're also on all the social media. If you go to Audio-Technica USA on Facebook, Instagram, you know they're all out there. You can always give us a call as well. I'm Brendan in the Audio Solutions Department. We're here to answer your calls.
Brent, thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you for sharing the Audio-Technica magic. And you stay tabbed because we've got more from NAB 2015. I've been using Audio-Technica gear in my lab probably for about 3 years now, and I love the fact that they're coming out with a more professional, their BP40, which is front firing instead of side firing, which is what I'm used to from Audio-Technica mics. And I love the fact that they've got mics now that can work with mobile devices. The USB version of the 2020 was nice. It was nice. It had a nice quality to it. But the fact that now I can use it with my phone, be it an iOS or an Android device, means I've got true portability and really good audio on the go. Now, when we come back, we're going to be speaking with Miriam Jouar. She's got a brand new Lumia for us to take a look at. But before we do that, let's go ahead and thank the first sponsor of this episode of Before You Buy, and it's Prosper. Now, quick question. What would you do if I told you that right now you could apply for a loan and get $35,000 in as few as 5 days and use the money for pretty much anything you needed to use it for? I'll face it, there aren't that many good ways to borrow money when you need it. You could go to friends, you could go to family, you could put it on your credit card, which is a horrible idea, and you could try a traditional bank loan, which I've done, which is just no fun at all. But now with a low fixed rate, Prosper can give you a better way. That's right, borrow up to $35,000 in as few as 5 days and use the money for just about anything you desire. You can pay off those high-rate credit cards, fix up the house, maybe put it into a business. Now, this is a new way to borrow money. It's all about the marketplace. It's all about the community. It matches people who need money with people who have money to lend. If you want to get into this next generation of financing, you got to try Prosper. I wish Prosper had been around when I was still running my own business. Well, at one point, I needed to go in for a bridge loan just to fulfill my contracts. I was plenty cash positive, but going from one branch manager to another to try to explain my business, which was still kind of new at that time, was just kind of demeaning. I wouldn't have to do that if Prosper had been around. Prosper's online marketplace does connect you with those who want to invest in you. It's that simple. Don't rack up more debt on your credit cards. Don't bother your friends and family for loans. Go to Prosper.com and do lending the right way. And right now, and for a limited time, Prosper is offering Twit viewers a $50 Visa gift card with your low-interest loan. You can get up to $35,000 in your account in as few as 5 days and a $50 Visa gift card. Just go to prosper.com/twit. That's prosper.com/twit for this special offer just for Twit viewers. And we thank Prosper for their support of Before You Buy. Next up, we've got the queen of cell phones. Miriam Jouar is here with another Lumia.
Hey there, it's Miriam, and this is Before You Buy. We're reviewing the Lumia 535, and you know what? This is the first Lumia that is Microsoft branded. Check it out. Yes, this was the first from the manufacturer that basically finally got rid of the Nokia branding, which, you know, is a big page we've turned. So what's so special about this phone, you're gonna say? You know, 535 from the nomenclature, it sounds like a low-end phone, and it is. But it's interesting because it's better than both the 530 and the 630, which are, you know, the current low-range phones on Windows Phone from Microsoft. And it differentiates themselves with three things that they really went about at length in all the marketing: 5, 5, and 5. 5-inch display, 5 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera. But what's cool about this phone is it's a pretty big phone. It feels like you're holding a higher end device, despite actually holding on to an entry level device. And the price reflects that. It's $125 or so. You can probably find it for less than $100 now, which is really incredible. It's being replaced by a bunch of new phones with the 40 series. There's a 640 and 640 XL that were announced at Mobile World Congress that are, at least on the basic 640, similar in specs, but even better display, more resolution. So know that there's better coming for about the same price, but if you can get a good deal on this, it might be worth your while. Let's go quickly through it. So as I mentioned, the display is QHD, so it's not quite as low res as 800 by 480, but not 720p either. It's in that middle resolution. It also doesn't have very good black levels and a lot of screen reflection, as you can see, because it doesn't have an anti-glare coating and it doesn't have an oil-resistant oleophoric coating, which most smartphones have today. So this thing becomes a fingerprint magnet in absolutely no time. Look, this is just from touching it 2 or 3 times, there's already 3 or 4 fingerprints on the front. And they don't go away. You can try wiping it. You pretty much have to use some sort of cleaner. So it becomes dirty and filthy very fast. That's one of the major drawbacks. It's not really the resolution or the quality of the screen that's the problem at this price point. They should have coated this with something. Inside is a Snapdragon 200, 1 gig of RAM. So that's good. The 1 gig is kind of a must-have for a good Windows Phone experience. But the Snapdragon 200, it's not gonna give you greatest performance, but it's still not sluggish. That's the one thing about Windows Phone is that even on entry-level processors, it runs well. 8 gigs of built-in storage. You're gonna need a micro SD card card to upgrade this. It has a slot, so you're set. But just be aware that you might want to spend a little bit more money for a card when you buy this phone. Let's talk about the camera. Microsoft Devices has inherited this awesome Lumia camera experience. And even though the specs on this are just a basic autofocus 5 megapixel camera with an LED flash, you get this great camera UI that you have on the higher end and the mid-range Lumias. Let me show it to you real quick. And it's great because it gives you full manual controls. Here I am. Let me bring that up real quickly. As you can see, there's a bunch of sliders here that let me set things like the focus manually and the shutter speed manually. So you can actually do these cool long exposure shots. Also, 5 megapixel front-facing camera means that you can do selfies. Yes, everybody loves their selfies. This is a dual SIM device, so it takes 2 SIM cards. If you have, this is a very popular and common thing in parts of the world where you might have one carrier for voice and one carrier for data because the pricing is optimized that way. And this phone lets you do that. So if you take the battery cover off, by the way, this whole battery back is replaceable. So if you drop the phone, again, you're not going to damage, unless you break the glass, you're not going to damage much other than this cheap plastic shell that costs nothing to replace and comes in different colors. So keep that in mind. You can change the shell. Under the shell, there is a battery. It's just a small 1905 milliamp hour battery, but it lasts quite a while because the Snapdragon 200 is very power efficient. Keep in mind, though, if you buy this phone well, this is a European model. There is a US version that has 3G for the US. But this particular European model does not have any 3G band for the US and Canada. So I'm actually using this on the edge on AT&T right now, which is pretty abysmal. But obviously, that's what they sent me as a review unit. If you were to buy it here in the States, you'd be fine. Great entry-level Windows Phone, first with Microsoft branding. Let's go talk about the pros and cons real quick. Pros, the price. I mean, probably less than $100 now on the street, as it were. 125 was the retail price. Unbelievable for a phone that gives you, it's a real full smartphone experience. You get Instagram, you get all the apps that you're used to on Windows Phone. You get all the Microsoft apps like Office, OneDrive, OneNote, all these things that are really nice productivity apps, Outlook. So, you can use this as a business phone. It's perfectly fine. So for the price, you're getting a full smartphone experience. The camera is half decent because Lumia phones usually have half decent cameras and gives you some manual controls, which is really nice. What's bad about it? The display, not the quality so much of the display, but the fact that it's not coated with anything that repels fingerprints, and also is very bad at reflecting light and at viewing angles because it doesn't have a polarizing filter. It's also not an IPS panel, it's just an LCD. If you buy the European version, no 3G in the US, you're on Edge only. Of course, you get Wi-Fi, GPS, all that, Bluetooth, all that other stuff, but just keep that in mind. At this price point, you also don't have wireless charging, which is a very common thing on Microsoft's phones. And yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. Is it a buy? Is it a try? Is it a not buy? Well, it's a buy, actually. I think that there are a lot of people who'd be perfectly served by a phone like this. Kids in particular, people that are on a budget and are really trying to get the best phone experience for their money. Honestly, you'd be better off at that price point with this phone than any Android phone at $100. And I'm talking about the Android phones that are not subsidized, the really cheap Samsungs and LGs that are commonplace everywhere. Other than perhaps the Moto E and the Moto G, which are kind of straddle the price point, you really don't have any Android devices that can touch this phone in terms of overall the price point and what you get for the money. So this is my review of the Lumia the Lumia 535 here on Before You Buy, the first Microsoft branded Windows Phone device.
There you have it. It's a buy for the Lumia 535 from Miriam Jawar. $125. That's a pretty good entry-level phone, and Lumia does have a really nice camera. So if you want an entry-level phone that has a camera that's a step above most entry levels, maybe that's going to be your next purchase. Thanks to Miriam Jawar. Of course, you can find her on the TWiT TV network. She often guests on All About Android, and she's always on Before You Buy. If you want to check out her other work, go to Twitter. That's probably the best way to find her. She's at Tank Girl. That's with all the vowels removed, TNKGRL. And see what reviews she is working on next. Now let's go ahead and move into the next little bit that we've got here, again from NAB. Now, one of the trends that we've seen over the last, I'd say, 3 years, both at NAB and CES, were screens that were just bigger, more screen. 1K, 2K, 4K, 5K, 8K, and then you make them larger and larger and larger, which is nice, but you can only take that to a certain level before it gets boring. Well, this year at NAB, Scott Wilkinson found another trend, and that is to take 1K and 4K monitors and just make them better. Not bigger, not with more pixels, but just make them better viewing experiences. So without further ado, let's take a look at Canon's HDR display.
This is Scott Wilkinson reporting for Before You Buy. And what we're looking at here is in the Canon booth at NAB. It's not a product you can buy today or probably tomorrow. It's what's called a high dynamic range display. It's an LED display, and it has a peak brightness of what's called 2,000 nits. Normally the TVs that you buy today have a peak brightness, well, the content is graded for a peak brightness of 100 nits. So we have a tremendously greater dynamic range on this set. That you can see here. It's a very brightly lit scene. Here's another very brightly lit scene. The color is another interesting thing. The color of this car is much deeper red than you see on an HD TV or even an Ultra HD TV that you can buy today, which uses the color gamut known as BT709. This color gamut is closer to what the digital cinema uses, which is called P3. It even goes beyond P3. So this red, you won't see that on any TV that you can buy today. Here's another example of that red on the pool table. And even more important, take a look at this door. As it opens up, you see the detail outside that door, as well as the detail inside this low lit area. Here's another example of an open door. You see some highlights on the guy's face. Here's another shot of a window with some bright information outside, inside the dull, dark bar, and you see the detail in both ends of the range, of the dynamic range. Here's another one with the window. It's remarkable what you can see here, and I am looking forward to being able to buy one. Of course, you can't today. This is a preview. This is a prototype. But it does point the way to a future that is looking mighty good. This is Scott Wilkinson for Before You Buy. Back to you.
Thanks to Scott Wilkinson for showing us the future of displays. HDR, it's hard to show in a screen on a stream that's going to your computer, but I got to tell you, if you see it in person, it is immediately apparent why you want one of these. It looks good, it looks sharp, and it makes you appreciate what good color matching will do for any bit of content. You can find Scott Wilkinson here on the Twit TV network. He is our home theater geek. We'll get back to our coverage in just a bit. We've got to take a look at some Bluetooth speakers. We've got an OMG roundup. But before we do that, let's go ahead and thank the second sponsor of Before You Buy. Now, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Sleep. Hey, Cranky Hippo, what do you think about sleep?
Well, you know how I got that nickname in the first place? Because I didn't get enough sleep, Padre.
Yeah, well, actually...
but I love it.
That's a great lead in here because we know what not enough sleep does. In fact, Cranky Hippo, what happens when the hippo gets cranky?
You don't want to know, Padre. There's a reason why the hippo is the #1 killer in Africa.
That's right, because cranky people will do bad things. It's not just that you don't have the energy for the day. It's not just that you make bad decisions. It's that the world just doesn't seem as good without a good night's rest, which always baffled me, because why would you, in the world, would you not put money into something that you're going to spend a third, or in my case, half of your day doing? Sleep. Well, that's what Casper is here to solve. You see, Casper is a different kind of company for beds. They're going to combine two different types of technology. They've got that memory foam, which we all know and love, but we tend to sink into, and it tends to be hot. And they've also got latex, which will provide the support. Well, what Casper will do is they'll put these on top of each other, which means you've got a mattress that is both soft and comfortable, but will give you the support that you demand. Now, it's not just the bed technology, which Leo tested out quite well here. It's the way that they sell it to you. If you go into a showroom, you've got 60, 90, maybe 180 seconds for you to roll around on that bed, feel how it feels, and decide whether or not you want to buy it. But that's no way to buy a mattress. You're going to be sleeping on this thing for hours a night. You need hours a night to decide if it's right for you. That's what Casper lets you do, because they give you 3+ months to experiment, to have this thing in your room, in your home, on your bed, to see if this is how you want to spend all your sleeping hours. Now, at the end of that 100-day trial period, if you don't want it, you send it back. That's what makes Casper different. Also, because they're selling it this way, it means that they're not paying a middleman. They're not paying the showroom. They pass the savings on directly to you. Casper understands the importance of a good night's sleep, and I wish you would too. Now, Casper mattresses are made in the United States, and you can get one today. $500 for a twin, $950 for a king size, which, when you compare it to industry averages, is an outstanding price. And you can save an additional $50 as one of our audience members by going to casper.com/beforeyoubuy and entering the promo code beforeyoubuy. That's casper.com/beforeyoubuy and promo code beforeyoubuy. Casper, a good night's sleep is waiting for you. Now, we invited OMG Chad, our favorite Minecraft master, to take a look at some Bluetooth speakers, and this is what he came up with.
Hello, my name is Chad. I'm with Twit and Before You Buy, and today I am reviewing 3 Bluetooth speakers. These are all travel speakers. They all have batteries built in, and they can all take phone calls from the device. They have microphones built in and ready for that. So the first one we will look at is the EcoPebble. The EcoPebble is a waterproof Bluetooth speaker that can go, is submersible in 3.3 feet of water, has 7 hours playtime of music. It also happens to float on the water, which is nice. On the top, you have a power and Bluetooth button. You have a play, pause, and answer button, and a volume up and volume down button. On the bottom, there is a carabiner, which will allow it to attach to a backpack or something like that. And the back, there is a door which shows all the ports. So there's an aux in and a USB, micro USB for charging, as well as a on-off switch. This little door is a little bit difficult to get back on to make sure that it's watertight and secured, mostly because you have this little piece of string that is keeping the door from being disconnected away from the speakers. There you go. If you give it a, you'll hear the nice click once it's fully attached and waterproof. So this is it at its loudest setting, at arm's length away from the microphone. Okay.
Power off.
All right, it just turned off. The next speaker is the Bluetune Bean. Now with this, it's more of like a selfie and phone call assistant than really a music Bluetooth speaker. On the side, there are buttons for power and for phone calls. And then on the other side, there is a button for camera, so you can take a photo. There are not play, pause, next, volume up and down on the Sound Live. There's also a metal carabiner clip. This doesn't open. You could just loop something through it and keep it on your backpack. But this is much more sort of for being able to take really cool selfies with the button. But that being said, let me show you the sound of this. So, still playing some Darude Sandstorm at its loudest setting at arm's length away. It's a little bit quieter than the EcoPebble, but it's still pretty loud. There you go. The phone button on the side can be used as your play-pause button. So there is the Bluetune Bean. Next is the Braven 805. Now this is kind of in a different class to the other Bluetooth speakers that we're looking at. Also in terms of price, so far this one has been around $60. This is around $23. This is around $200. Some of the features that it includes are play, pause, volume up and down, and answer phone button on the top, as well as a USB out, power in, and then aux in as well on the front here. That USB out is because the Braven 805 has a 4,400 milliamp hour battery inside of here that you can charge your cell phones with if you want to. That also means that it has a very, very long playtime of 18 hours if you were going to throw this in a party. I don't know of any party that lasts 18 hours. It's also the best sounding speaker out of the three, mostly because of the size. So let's go ahead and play something. So this one has the best bass response, the fullest sound, the smoothest sound, probably the loudest sound as well. And it comes through both sides. Mostly this side, really, gosh. It comes through on both sides as well. So this one has sort of treble in the front, bass in the back with the Braven. Now let's get into pros and cons for each of these very quickly on the ECOXGEAR, the EcoPebble. The pros are that it has play, pause, and multimedia keys on top. It's waterproof and it floats in water. For the Bluetune Bean, the fact that it has a dedicated selfie button is a pro, and it is the smallest and cheapest of the bunch. For the Braven 805, pros are the multimedia keys on the front, the fact that it has a 4,400 milliamp hour battery inside so you can charge your phone, and the great sound quality. On the cons, we're going to give this one this difficult to operate door on the back, and it doesn't have the best of battery lives. For the Bean, it does not have an aux jack. There's no way to plug in an aux thing, and the lack of media keys are the cons. And also it's the quietest out of the bunch. For the Braven, the cons are that it's not incredibly rugged. I'd be worried about this at a party. It might get knocked over or get something spilled on it. But that is basically the only con for the Braven. So buy, try, don't buy. This is going to be a try. This is going to be a don't buy. And the Braven is going to be a buy. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chad Johnson for Before You Buy. See you next time.
That's OMG Chad with the verdict on 3 different Bluetooth speakers. He's giving the EcoPebble a try. He's giving the Braven 805 a buy. But the Bean gets a don't buy. Now, don't forget, you can find OMG Chad on his own YouTube channel. He's got OMG Craft, a very popular YouTube channel. And there were some special announcements going on this week. He and the GizWiz are taking the GizWiz on to Patreon. So if you want to support them, go to patreon.com/GizWiz. I want to thank all of our reviewers for just giving us an honest view of everything that we had today, from the Apple Watch to some fantastic TVs at NAB, to the speakers, and of course to the phone. Now, I also want to thank you, because you make this show possible by coming back each and every single week to see what we think about the various products that come into the Brick House. I want to make it easy for you to get Before You Buy. And so if you go to our show page at twit.tv/BYB, you can find all of our reviews. We also break them down on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/twit Before You Buy. If you missed a review, if you want to see Leo's opening of the Apple Watch, if you want to see what I said about a laptop in the past, it's a great place to go. Remember, twit.tv/BYB or youtube.com/twit Before You Buy. Also, don't forget that you can follow me on Twitter. Just go to twitter.com/PadreSJ. If you follow me there, I promise that I will always give you announcements as to what's going to be happening on the Twit TV network and the shows that I do, and also what I think about the Apple Watch and the Apple Masters. That's right. Danny fought to give us our freedom. I don't know if we should be giving it back so easily. Also, I'm not sure if Brian has it up, but you can find me on Google+. If you find me on Google+, you'll find this. This is my new mascot, the happiest dog in the world with a pizza slice that's way too big. This is the kind of entertainment you get on Twit TV. Of course, again, thanks to Leo Laporte, Miriam Jouar, Scott Wilkinson, Chad Johnson, to Leo Laporte for having the network along with Lisa, and of course to my super fantastic, I don't even have enough adjectives for him, TD, Mr. Brian Burnett. Brian, can you tell the folks where they can find you each and every single week?
They can find me, like you pointed out before the Casper ad. Cranky Hippo is kind of my internet nickname, and you can follow me Twitter at cranky_hippo, where I like to post GIFs of going fast. I just gotta go fast.
This is what, folks, this is what happens late night at Twit TV.
Right.
After we turn off the stream.
When we're doing know-how, yeah. So, good job today, Padre.
Before it goes any further off the rails, I'm Father Robert Ballecer, the digital Jesuit, just reminding you that you gotta watch before you buy.